So here we are with another Trade Legends podcast, and we have Ashley McIntosh from A&E.
AE Macintosh.
AE Macintosh, and it is exterior cleaning, would you say? Because
So
that encompasses quite a bit, doesn't it?
So yeah, it can go in whatever direction you want, really. So my two businesses, I suppose, I currently run. Macintosh Specialist Exterior Cleaning, which is my actual cleaning.
Good job you didn't get me to say.
Catchy.
Yeah.
So that's actually my cleaning business, and then AE Macintosh Exterior Cleaning Industry Training is what I'm now busy doing as well.
Yeah.
So those two things that I'm kind of doing side by side. Yeah.
Okay, so before I get you to sort of explain what that encompasses, what we tend to do at the very start of the show is we get you to sort of go back to, you know, what we were just talking about, what you did before, and then sort of give us an overview and a bit of a story so that people can get to sort of understand how you've come to doing what you do now. But yeah, just take us back, because I always say this to people. You talk to so many people on social media, and I'm sure you do. You've got people from all different types of trades that you talk to, but people don't really get to know who you are or understand what you did before. Do you know what I mean? And it always amazes me when I talk to people and say, you know, if somebody goes, oh, well, I worked here, or I was a marine biologist or whatever, because it's so drastic sometimes to how they ended up where they are now. So just give us a bit of background to yourself.
I've always cleaned things since like the dawn of time.
Yeah, you can come around and teach my wife.
So I've got real, I have to tell you, I've got real kind of imposter syndrome, I think, being here. I don't feel like I qualify as a trade as such. But actually, I think for exterior cleaning to be considered more seriously as a trade, that's what I'm campaigning for.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as big and sexy as people going on about electricians or plumbers.
Yeah.
But it is still something that everybody needs at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a fantastic business because anything you clean is going to get dirty again. Yeah. So if you do a good job for someone, they'll want you back and to do that job again, essentially. So so that's what I love about exterior cleaning as a business. Yeah. And you can earn good money at it, more than I think some trades that you maybe train or go to college for years to do.
So a little bit less competitive in essence.
I think one of the problems with it,
because the amount of people that must come out and try and be electricians or plumbers, it must be a lot more than what you're doing. Or
well, I think people see the social media. I think what we're seeing now, well, it's difficult to tell because I feel like there's a bit of an explosion in social media of people putting themselves out there on social media, and really it's quite a low barrier to entry. Like, people can go out and buy a pressure washer, have a go at it without really a lot of understanding about what they're actually doing, or maybe taking better care over what they're doing. So that can be a tricky thing. And then before you know it, they're putting themselves on social media. And then the next thing is that other people are copying them, thinking that's how it's done. Yeah. When maybe they're doing it in a certain way just because looks satisfying, and it gets views. Yeah. So we'll come back to this later, I think. But we're all going to go back to the beginning.
Just give us a bit of backstory then to sort of yourself, how you came into doing what you're doing. And
so basically, before I even left school, a window cleaner I knew asked me to help him out in the summer holidays. So I think I was still even doing my GCSEs. Yeah. And he was taking me out, showing me how to do the job.
Were you academic at school? Because I always ask this question.
A classic, could do better.
Yeah, could try harder. Yeah,
could try harder. Yeah, but so I'm a very practical kind of guy. So my grades were kind of average, but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. By the time I finished school, I went to college and I did music technology. Yeah. Which we were talking about, so I'm loving your setup here and everything. I'm geeking out about this. But and I just wanted to do something that wasn't sat at a school desk, you know. And I got this.
Sat in a dark studio instead.
Yeah, but I think on my own podcast, I tell this story in my first episode where I was one of these kids who would like recording their favourite songs off the radio on their tape deck.
I remember that.
But,
showing your age as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I would take it one step further, which is a bit embarrassing really, but I had a twin tape deck. So then I could record one song onto the next tape, and I could even record my voice in between. So I'd like create my own little radio show, recording myself. Yeah, so that's why kind of the techie kind of stuff comes from now, I suppose. I always had this kind of fascination with recording things. Yeah, so I went to college and that's what I did. I just went recording things and I loved that kind. In fact, the year I was at college, it was still an analog studio, reel-to-reel tape and all that kind of stuff, DAT tape, analog. And my year actually built the digital studio. So we wired it all in. We now had this desk with automatic faders and, on the computer and all that kind of stuff, programming it all
when
in.
Music died.
That's when music died. That's pretty much the day. Yeah, that's it. So even when I was at college, I was working part-time then as a window cleaner. Yeah. And it was only just meant to be while I was at college, really, to get me by. But as soon as I could drive, I learned to drive, put a roof rack on my car, ladders, off I went, started picking up my own work. So I tend to say that my business started in 1997, because that's when I started driving. Yeah. But I was actually doing it a bit before that. So about 30 years, I've actually been cleaning. Yeah. But my business has now developed. As time's gone on, I've gone from window cleaning to offering other services. So gutter cleaning, pressure washing. Now, more than anything else, I do roof cleaning mainly, and that's been a massive explosion over the last few years, I think, as well. But I've learned so much about, I think, business along down that journey. So I kind of have this thing now where it's like, I wish I could go back to the beginning. If only I could go back to the beginning with all the experience I have now that I've accumulated through all this time. I feel like things would be so much different. Yeah. So I love helping people out.
Is that where the training side has come in there?
Yeah, exactly. So
because I mean, this is the beauty, and Jack will tell you, I always bang on about social media is you can get so much more from it now, and you can go on YouTube and learn how to build a house if you wanted to. Whereas back in the day, there was no real access to anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that exploration for me, I think I've grown up with technology as well in a way. As these things have come about, I've explored these things as well. So at first, when I was a window cleaner, I was literally AE Macintosh window cleaning, and I started pressure washing, and I was doing quotes for people for pressure washing, and it was like every customer kind of like every customer, I could feel it. They were expecting a cheap price. Yeah. Because I was a window cleaner doing a little bit of pressure washing on the side, or that was the perception. Okay. So I quickly realized I needed to kind of rebrand myself. So I changed my branding to AE Macintosh Cleaning Services. And another thing I was doing was
so the windows became part of the service as opposed to you're a window cleaner offering the other service.
Yeah, so the brand perception had changed. I wasn't a window cleaner doing a bit of pressure washing on the side, but I was an exterior cleaning business which had a range of services. Yeah. It's quite subtle, but psychologically that was significant enough that because I didn't want to do pressure washing for the same price I was doing window cleaning. I wanted to grow my business, expand my business, earn more than I was on window cleaning. So that was the idea.
Would you say that's what sort of took the business off then? Just that one little change?
No, I don't think so. It was my understanding of the business. Yeah. And I think that's massive now. There's a statistic that exists. 60% of small businesses fail within the first 3 years. Yeah. And I find this on social media, especially within exterior cleaning, is that there's so much sort of chatter about what equipment you should buy, what's the best method of doing something, when in actual fact, I think what I've realized is that it's not just what you do, it's not the equipment you're using, but it's actually how you promote yourself. It's your branding, your marketing, your sales approach. So I run this training course now. The training course is called General Pressure Washing Business. And we go through that step-by-step customer journey, right from the first impression. When a customer sees your branding, they make a judgment when they see your branding. Is that the right business for me? Does your branding look like it's more aimed towards domestic work? Does it look more premium? Does it look more friendly local? Does it look like it's more aimed at commercial work? And that makes a big difference. That's what I've come to realize.
Perception.
Yeah. And whether someone's going to look further into finding out more about your business, that's quite quick for a customer to make that judgment. And we all make those judgments, whether we realize it or not.
It's the same when you land on a website. If you land on the website and it looks, you go, I'll go to the next one.
And they say that someone takes 3 seconds to form an opinion about whether they're the right business for what they're looking for.
I mean, that's the beauty as well, I find, of, again, social media, is that's your portfolio now. So it's accessible to anybody 24 hours a day.
And if someone's going to look at your website,
they're going to look at you.
The next thing they're going to do is probably social media and also the reviews. So it's having all those things in place. Someone to build up a perception of your business. So for me, realizing what I used to do when I first started pressure washing, like this was a big commitment for me as a window cleaner. The most expensive bit of equipment I'd ever bought was probably a ladder for 280 quid, right? So for me to go all in on pressure washing was a big deal. I'm spending now 2 or 3 grand on a pressure washing setup to clean people's driveways. But what sparked it was I was putting my ladder up on people's patios and things, and they were getting slippy. And I'm thinking, someone needs to clean this. Otherwise I'm going to fall off my ladder. Why not me? So I already started talking to people, some of my customers, about, what if I offered pressure washing? Would you have me clean your patio? I already had these customers. So I thought, well, if I can nail a couple of customers, and then I'll buy the equipment. The equipment's going to be paid for quite quickly.
Well, if you're around there anyway, and you're picking up extra work, you can pretty much like fill out a whole day just with one customer. Driveway, gutters, roof.
So this is what I think now, is that a lot of window cleaners don't perhaps realize the potential in their business. Massive potential. If you've got a lot of window cleaners will have 300, 400, 500 customers, even if they just work on their own.
They'll be thinking, if I can just get in and get out, then I can do 50 customers in a day.
And that was my thinking as a window cleaner as well. That's how I used to approach things. I used to be like, if I can get in 1 extra customer a day, and that was 20 quid, I'll earn another 100 quid a week. I'll earn another 500 quid a month. And if I can do that, I'll increase my earnings. That's how I used to think. And then eventually I was like, well, hang on a minute, this is quite hard work. Not that I'll shy away from hard work.
Trying to maintain, because in that scenario you've got more customers, whereas actually you could have less customers, but you're still making more money.
Or what if you could get someone else helping you with the window cleaning to free up some time, so now you can earn some money on some higher ticket jobs. Because the potential there is massive. You've got 400 or 500 customers. Firstly, I started gutter cleaning. I said, well, if a few of them have, not everyone's going to have every one of these services, but if a percentage of them have gutters cleaned out once a year, every year, that's a boost on my earnings. That's quite significant. If I'm cleaning their windows for 20 quid, it might easily be 80, 90 quid to clear out their gutters. It might easily be 200, 300 quid to clean their driveway or patio. And now all these things start to add up, and you're thinking, whoa, that's, out of one job that was 20 quid, now could easily be £1,000 a year. When you start adding things up, if there's render that needs cleaning, their fascias and soffits need cleaning, whatever it is, if they've got solar panels, the list goes on and on. So then you start to think, there is a lot of potential in a business. And I think it's like, window cleaning to me is like the subscription service. Like every good business is looking for a subscription, like Amazon, Netflix, are the classics, aren't they? And why do they want that? It's because they go to their bank manager and they go, well, we've got this little subscription, we've got this steady income, and anything else we do might fluctuate at different times of the year. but at least we know we've got this guaranteed income. And so I think that's window cleaning for me. It's that subscription. And then those customers, they know you do a good job, you know, they become to trust you because they're familiar with the way you work. And then so you offer other services, they're not going to look elsewhere. Yeah. They'll go, well, you're the person I trust, so we'll go with you. And so there's so much potential there. Yeah. But for me, there was a lesson in the branding, is just to change my...
So what did you do then to change the branding? Apart from changing the name and sort of where you were aiming the business, what else did you do? Logos or websites or...
Yeah.
What would you say that you did, but what also would you say is probably the one thing that really changed it?
Well, one of the things that I used to do was my vehicle. I used to run a cheap car. So I used to always buy a Golf, basically, and £500, £600, £700 a year with year's tax, year's MOT. Yeah. And if it made it through to the next MOT, great. Yeah, if it didn't cost too much, jack it in and get the next one. Yeah. And I thought I was onto a good thing. I thought it was like, you know, that's the most expensive part of my business, basically, is running a vehicle. So if I could do it as cheaply as I can. And I always shied away from getting a van because I thought my customers will think I'm making too much money. You know, how are they going to react? Yeah.
It is strange when you think about things like that, but then when you do it, you go,
when I did it...
Why didn't I do it
sooner?
6 years ago.
I literally had customers saying to me, oh, now you've gone so professional, we'll have to pay you a bit more. And I was like, that didn't compute. That wasn't the reaction I was expecting. Yeah. But I had exactly the same ladders, all the exactly same equipment. I was doing exactly the same job for them. But that perception that they had of me
was more professional.
Was more professional, yeah. So then the penny started to drop, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, I put more effort into my van. I went and got it all sign written, made it look as swish as I could. Yeah. And then I put more effort into things like my website. Yeah. And that's when the kind of video side of things started for me. And what I did at first with my first few pressure washing jobs is I'd take the pictures, and camera phones were only just like starting. So the photos were a bit grainy, actually. But I was so excited about what I was doing. I bought this pressure washer. The first couple of jobs I did, I was like, wow, the results are amazing. And I'm loving it. So I'll get the before and after photos. And I created this folder of before and after photos to show new customers. So when I was talking to customers about, I've got this great pressure washing business, I can do such a great job, it's amazing. And then I'd show them the folder. But the reaction, people would glaze over. Like, all of a sudden now they were getting a hard sell. Yeah. I wasn't giving them a hard sell, but they felt that's how they felt. Yeah. And so I started to realize, this is not quite working. So that's when I started making videos and putting videos on my website. So customers could then, all you had to do was direct them to your website.
They can see the work. Yeah.
And they can see it happening, the process of the job taking place in their own comfort of their own home without me pressuring them. And that's what works so well. Yeah. So that's all the YouTube ever was I think I did a video for pressure washing driveways, I did a video for window cleaning, I did a video for gutter cleaning, and that was just on each section of my website. Yeah. So that's where that started. Yeah, yeah. And I think I was a little bit sort of ahead of the curve on that sort of thing. It's like YouTube was just starting. If you were a business that had a website, great.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is if you go back 10 years ago and you were to say to people that people would be coming on social media to watch, you know, videos of roof cleaning. Yeah. Just cleaning a roof. Yeah. You would have gone, really? Yeah. But that's the beauty again about social media and the internet is you can go down the rabbit hole of like, there's another guy, who's the guy who does all the hedge cutting and stuff in Australia, and he does all the the trimming, and he goes and like occasionally he'll do like a free one for somebody who's, you know, I can watch that stuff all day. Yeah,
there's a couple of guys in exterior cleaning who literally go around doing stuff for free. And it gets, you know, they help out an elderly person or something, or their garden's overgrown and they can't keep on top of it. Yeah. And they go and cut all the hedges, do all the pressure washing and make an amazing transformation. And it gets the views, doesn't it? We love watching it for some reason.
Well, I do anyway. I could sit there, watch like 4 hours of it, then go, what am I doing with myself? Yeah. But one thing I did want to go back to is how come you didn't pursue the music tech sort of side of things? Was it just...
my
because obviously I did the same. And
Yeah.
then sort of don't do anything really involved in that, apart from probably the podcast. But
I guess I realised that it was more about not what you know, but who you know. Yeah. And I realised that I was going to have to network and do late nights and unsociable hours. And so I didn't really want to get... Well, I didn't end up pursuing that because I had a business that was
making money.
Was doing all right, and I had flexibility of my time, and I didn't have to answer to anyone and that kind of stuff. So I just kept doing that, and I think that's. I don't know if we get a bit deep, but you could go start talking about what is success.
Yeah.
Some people, start a business and they want to build multiple vans and build an empire and that kind of thing. Whereas to me, just having control of my time, to me, that's success. And I think as time's gone on, is understanding, just having a little bit of an understanding of business gives you that control of your life. Yeah. If you see what I mean. So soon after when I started my business and I got married and I had kids and I was looking back now, I think I was a little bit of a rabbit caught in the headlights. Like you get to the point where, what have I done? All this responsibility I've now got. Yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, look, if I can just work hard enough that my business has grown enough, so when my kids start working, there's enough for them to do. Yeah. To me, that's all I've ever aimed for. Yeah. So that we can all live a comfortable life and be happy and have a certain amount of flexibility as well.
The whole point of work, which I always try to explain to anybody, because like you said, there's people that come on here, I want to have the 20 vans, I want like 50 people working for me. All you have to think about is you are trying to free up your own time.
Yeah.
And what I try and say is, if you've got 50 staff, you're not freeing up any time. Not unless specifically you have people that are at least 80% of what your level is, which is very hard in a trades business. We had that conversation about here. You can always get somebody in that can pretty much do what you need. But trades, if you're trying to find somebody that can do what you can do 80%, why aren't they doing their own business? Yeah, and that's
I mean, what I'm talking about, the type of business I'm talking about, is very grassroots, isn't it? Like window cleaning business. Yeah. But even I started my business and I cleaned every window. Every window I cleaned. And I got to the point where I thought, I need some help if I'm going to grow it. But that was actually quite a big deal for me to have someone else. Yeah. So I'm not now going to clean every window. Someone else is going to clean some of the windows on that house. It's hard to trust it. Yeah. And that was a big step for me actually, because I was worried about the customer. Are they going to do it like I do it? But you establish systems. So if that person follows the same method as you,
it should get done.
It might not be quite as good, but hopefully it'll be close if they follow the method. Yeah. Me and my son who works with me now. Yeah. We like watching Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. And it's the same every time. It's someone who's caught up in the kind of idea of it's their dream to buy a restaurant, and they get caught up in the romance of it.
And then it's a nightmare.
And they've got their granny's recipes from years ago, and they think if they open a restaurant with these recipes, it's going to be a fantastic success. And then Gordon Ramsay, and it's like struggling because they haven't realised that it's actually a business. It's not just... And Gordon Ramsay comes in and he basically revamps the menu, like makes it simple and high quality. Yeah. He revamps the restaurant, the surroundings, gives it a new look, and he establishes systems in the kitchen, make sure it runs efficiently. Yeah. And I think basically that's any business, isn't it? It's like if you get your service or product, whatever it is, if you get that nailed, it's great quality, keep that simple, then the how you present it, so your marketing with your website, your branding, all of that, make sure it looks good quality, so the customer understands that. And then you establish good systems in your business, so everything runs efficiently. Then you've got a good business, whatever it is. Yeah.
It's not rocket science, but I think when you first start out, you're so focused on certain things that you miss. Like even for trades, I always try and say to people, have you got branded letterheads, or are you branding stuff when you're doing quotes, or when you go out, have you got like a smart folder and you're presenting the way that you're presenting stuff? Is your branding on your workwear uniform? Like, is your uniform scruffy?
Yeah. Well, it occurred to me that it's mad, isn't it? How many people start a business without any idea about what they're actually doing? Myself included.
So some people don't even have a proper name.
Yeah.
So they think, and
or what you see quite a lot is people use their initials and stuff, which I've kind of used my name as the business, and that's not necessarily the best approach. Yeah. But I've stuck with it because I've built up a reputation, I suppose. But it's funny, isn't it? Even myself, I started a business. This is going to be the basis of my entire livelihood. And yet, I suppose I learned from the other people I was working with, and I'll do things similar to them. But down the line, I feel like I've learned different business techniques. It's like, it's quite simple, really, but no one ever taught me that. Yeah. And now my children are like, my daughter did business A level, and my son's just done business administration apprenticeship, and I'm learning stuff off them. And I never did anything like that. Yeah. And I think, hang on a minute. I've learned stuff over years of trial and error and experience running my own business. And they've just got in a couple of years.
Somebody's learned it in.
Yeah. And I'm helping my daughter do revision for her business A level. And I'm thinking, these are fantastic, like, little principles that she's learning.
This goes back to, I think, as well, is the education system for trades businesses. You're either academic or you're not. And I always say, why isn't it, rather than forcing people into doing GCSEs, maybe maths and English, everybody's got to get that as a standard thing, but I feel that schools should then have a system where you can do vocational courses. Yeah. So even if you wanted to go and do pressure washing business, you've got people like yourself that come in, that are teaching kids, but also at the same time giving them some business advice. Yeah. Because the amount of tradespeople that great at doing the work, paperwork or accounts or finance or ensuring that they've got materials or whatever it is to actually run their business. Yeah. They're dreadful. And again, that comes back to where if you've got the system in place, then it's fine. But if you...
Yeah, and I think I nearly did a plumbing course actually at one time. And I think so many people, myself included, like where you start a business and you think you buy the right equipment or you get you do the right course at college or whatever it is, and that's great. I'll have a business. Off I go. But that's why I think I see businesses now, and I think there are businesses that sell stuff or whatever the business is, and it's rubbish. But they're really good at marketing.
Yeah, Red Bull.
Red Bull famously scored really badly, didn't it, in consumer testing. Yeah, but their marketing is fantastic, and that's what's been the success of it.
No disrespect, Red Bull. Hopefully, you sponsor the podcast.
But it's an interesting story. That's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, the taste of that stuff is it's disgusting.
And it famously, all the people on my social media are all marketing people. That's why I find it fascinating. But there's a thing. Even the color of your brand conveys a subliminal message. Yeah. So Coca-Cola apparently a little while ago changed the colour of the caps. Yeah. And as a result, they sold less Coca-Cola, which is crazy, isn't it? Yeah. But just that little thing, they're like, what are you doing? Change it back to red.
That's why I did everything in the black and yellow.
Okay.
So that was...
Conveys a subliminal message. So in exterior cleaning, a lot of people use blue, probably by accident, but apparently blue conveys trust. Yeah. And so, you want, if you're... sole trader and you're trying to get domestic customers, that's a good colour to use because it conveys trust. Yeah.
But people don't realise all these things, and I feel like if you had some sort of guidance at school, which is good that you're doing the training courses to try and help people do that, but I feel like that's one area where trades, if you were to ask them, why have you chosen that colour? Well, I just liked it. Yeah. But they don't realise there's a little science behind it.
Yeah, those little things can add up and make a difference as well to your business. And
there you go. That's
people
water.
Don't realise.
You've got the blue one.
Water comes in a can sometimes now, doesn't it?
The green is for health, isn't it? So it's like it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
But so give us a little background into the two, because you've got the two parts of the business, and obviously one's the exterior cleaning where you're going out, and the other's the training side. And
Yeah.
what does that encompass then for you? And what are you achieving with that? Give us a little insight into it.
Well, I love to share my experience and help others. Because I speak to a lot of people on my own podcast. It's the E. Macintosh Exterior Cleaning podcast, and I have the tagline of helping talking about business and lifestyle.
Yeah.
So to me, it's that lifestyle choice as well, and I help a lot of people that come to my training are maybe in employment, but they want to go self-employed.
Yeah.
And that is a massively daunting step for them.
Well, it is from scratch, because you've got to go out, buy the equipment, or you need to have that experience how to use the equipment.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult when you're sat potentially behind a desk to suddenly go.
So you have the big step. The first year is always the toughest in any business, isn't it? Because you're making all those expenditure that comes out in the first year. But I think it's also leaving the comfort of your secure monthly income that you're getting from your payroll or whatever it is, and then going, I'm going to rely totally on myself, which is the crazy thing when you start a business without any help, isn't it? So
what people don't realise is when they're employed, they're relying on someone else.
Yeah.
So would you rather rely on yourself?
And they're at the mercy of someone else as well. So it's having that element of freedom as well, I suppose. And I've helped people who, have got a young family, and they said, in my current business, I'm just working all the time. So to go self-employed and just have a bit more time for my family. Yeah. I love helping people with that kind of thing as well, because I suppose that's more along my lines of thinking. Yeah. But at the same time, I can easily see how I can help someone to establish growth with multiple vans. If someone wants to do that, people have different ideas of what they want to achieve in their business. And I think just understanding some business principles gives someone the tools, in terms of business tools, in order to be able to take the business where they want to and keep tabs of their finances. And just, if you can just get that bit of understanding, then it can help massively.
Yeah. I feel like you're probably doing what the schools should really do.
They say that about school. Like, what do they teach them in school? What do they really teach them? Is it practical help?
I mean, the vocational side of things, because people only start doing that at college. And I feel like when we've got this trade shortage that's supposedly, really evident everywhere, why aren't we sort of saying, look, GCSEs are important, but if you aren't the academic type, you're not the type to want to sit behind a desk, or you're not becoming a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. Why aren't we sort of showing what you can do? Because I'm sure, if you said pressure washing cleaning business, or, exterior cleaning, somebody's going to go, well, A, what is it?
Yeah.
And B, the second question probably like, how much money can I make from it? And you might say this, and they go, I can make that much money from it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the mindset changes, or the sort of the view on going into a trade changes for these. I
think
kids.
Maybe some trades, I think it can be looked down on a little bit sometimes as well. And sometimes people want to go for a job that's maybe got a little bit more status surrounding it. I was listening to your episode a couple of weeks ago, the person that did 2 law degrees.
Oh, yeah.
And then they ended up doing property development.
Yeah. Emma.
And I think that's quite often schools are kind of encouraging people to go to college, then university. Yeah. And that's it, really. And so the trades get maybe forgotten about a little bit, or not encouraged as much. Or maybe people
I just like, if I was to get the phone out now and go on, I could probably find all out about like law courses, or how to become a solicitor, or what's entailed in a doctor's degree. Yeah. You can't find that out about trades businesses.
So I heard, it's turning into quoting statistics at you, but apparently on average a trade will, someone in the trades will earn around £200 a day, which is crazy for the amount of time that you spend kind of learning some trades. Yeah. So, and then that's the outcome, £200 a day. And I think you can get window cleaners that, well, it's difficult to tell when you go on social media. People like to band about what they earn, you know, but
Yeah,
people will easily say
the bullshit figures.
Yeah, £300-400-500 a day or whatever cleaning windows, which you can if you develop it and you got a certain type of work and all that kind of stuff. But I think all the other things are upward from there, like gutter cleaning. If you can fill out your time gutter cleaning, it will be more than that. If you can then incorporate pressure washing, it can be up from there. And roof cleaning is the the pinnacle in more ways than one. And I think that's why we've got a lot of people sort of trying to find out information about it, trying to get into it. And then you get like the copycat guys who are kind of like having a go at it. And
ruining people's
rooms. And it's a little bit of a controversial one, I suppose, because if you talk to a tile manufacturer, and I think some of the roofing, the bodies that kind of oversee roofers, they will generally say that no one should ever pressure wash a roof.
They say you should treat them with chemicals, and then which is fine, but then I always find it never actually fully. It's not like having the pressure washer on the.
So this is what I try and help people to understand about pressure washing. Is there's pressure washing and then there's pressure washing. So if you were to go and buy a pressure washer, I mean, what spec would you look for? If you're looking for one to wash your car or something, the first thing you'd probably look at is the amount of pressure it delivers. But actual fact, the more important aspect of it is probably the litres per minute. So you could go for a 3,000 PSI pressure washer, and you'd probably get one of those to wash your car, and you'd probably think, great, this is going to do a really good job of washing my car. But it might only be 5 or 6 litres per minute. Whereas the pressure washer I use, industrial standard pressure washer, is 3,000 PSI, but delivers 21 litres per minute. So although it would be the same PSI, it's the water delivered is massively different. Now you take that power from your pressure washer, and depending on the tool that you have, you could have a tool with a wide fan jet, or you could have a tool with a very narrow pencil jet. So that power is now being spread across either a wider or a narrower area of the surface that it hits. So it's going to do more harm than good if you're not careful. You could have a tool that has more than one jet. So now that power from your jet is spread across 2 jets, and then depending on how wide the fan is, it's going to hit the surface in a different intensity.
Have you ever had to go out to a job after somebody's been there and battered somebody's roof? Or has there ever been a case of something where something's happened and you've had to go and...
So there's something called a turbo nozzle. So this is the controversial bit in the industry. Like, should you use a turbo nozzle or should you use a flat surface cleaner? Okay, which is a flat surface cleaner, 2 fan jets which spin round under like a dish.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So so a turbo nozzle is pretty much the most intensive tool you can have in pressure washing. It's a pencil jet which rapidly rotates. So if you've got a really nasty stain, like an oil stain is the hardest thing to remove, that's when you'd probably go for a turbo nozzle. You want to try and remove that stain. Now, people are using these on roofs quite a lot. In fact, a lot of people now are using twin. So there's 2, so at least it's spread across 2 jets rather than being just one. So there was a property near my house that I keep driving past, and you can obviously see someone's used a turbo nozzle all over it, because this is just this haphazard pattern on it, where someone's got bored halfway through and then
just left it.
So I've got some images. I'm standing the other side of the hedge with my camera on a pole. I don't know whose house this is. I just want to get some footage of this roof that's been cleaned badly to use in my training and stuff like that. So you do see stuff like that. So it's usually what the approach I take. So this is the thing in the industry. You get different people saying it should be done this way, it should be done that way. So you could use a turbo nozzle and hold it more at a distance from the surface. And it wouldn't be so intense. But to my way of thinking, that's still quite difficult to get a consistent clean. So I prefer the flat surface cleaner, which you hold it at a distance. It's at that set distance from the surface. And the 2 jets spin, you can be more gentle with the surface. And you have the pressure set to a certain level as well, so it's not too intense for the roof. But the idea is you're using low pressure, high water volume to move the heavy duty muck that you're trying to shift. and that's what I've found to be most effective.
Yeah.
But it's so you won't always, with that approach, the trouble is you won't always remove some of the super stubborn sort of black spots, some of white lichen that can be on the roof still, lichen, lichen, whatever you want to call
I know
it.
what you mean, yeah.
So to me, I always use a chemical treatment afterwards, which will kill any of that that's like stubborn dirt that might be left behind. But that chemical treatment that I use will last for 2 years, so it'll prevent anything growing back. The roof will still improve over that time, and then I recommend that treatment to be reapplied every 3 years or so to maintain the roof.
Okay.
That's the sales side of it. That's my
Sold.
sales. That's my sales pitch.
I love it. The funny thing is I've actually had my roof cleaned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't go too crazy on it because some of the tiles need replacing.
Okay.
So I've only done one section of it.
Okay. So you've got someone in to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and yeah, it's funny actually that we're talking about that because it got done like 3-4 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did it go?
It looks loads better.
Okay, yeah.
It looks loads better. The driveway's been done, but it's an old house.
Okay.
So it ideally needs a new roof. So I haven't gone too crazy on it.
Yeah.
You can sort of take the top off the tiles as well, can't you? So you actually take the...
Well, yeah, exactly. You can. And the trouble is the build-up of the biofilm, okay, that build-up of algae, moss, lichen is going to be eating away at the tiles. All exterior surfaces are a little bit porous. So in our lovely British winters, they'll sit damp.
Yeah.
And the more they sit damp, that encourages that growth to come to grow and develop, basically the algae first, and then the lichen, and then the moss.
Yeah.
So any surface that you clean can still have spores living in it. You clean a driveway, whatever it is, so that will quickly grow back. Over a damp winter, the next spring, it will be looking black again with those spores that have grown, the algae that's grown back. So to me, the chemical treatment is essential to kill actually the spores in the surface that you can't necessarily see, and that will help keep it cleaner for much longer. So it's that a lot of people don't realise the maintenance side. They let their roof get terrible before you go and do anything about it.
I don't know. Well, you probably drive past every single one and go, look at that
start
one.
looking, yeah.
Look at that one.
Yeah.
But I feel, if you come up the driveway, you look and you go, the driveway's looking a bit tired.
Yeah.
Or when the weather's good and you go out into the patio in the back and you think, like this could do with a jet wash.
Yeah.
So you notice it more than say a roof, I think.
Well, in the kind of spring, summer, you get people who want their roofs cleaned because the moss is kind of dropping off onto their patio.
Yeah.
And they've had a nice new patio laid and they want to sit out in it.
Yeah.
But all this moss is falling on it, making it look messy. So they get the roof cleaned to sort it out. Or you get people in the winter who their gutters need cleaning out, but the source
because of all the trees.
Okay,
yeah.
But maybe the source of the problem is also that there's moss on the roof that's ending up in the gutter and blocking up the gutters. So all of these exterior surfaces are kind of like they're going to be subject to weathering and all that kind of stuff anyway. You know the mortar on the roof, so that around the edges of the tiles, there'll be little bits of mortar like the way the roof is finished off.
Yeah.
So all of that gradually over time, the weather gets in, starts to deteriorate, the mortar starts to crumble. The same on the roof tiles. If you've got, it'll be weathered away. And you get certain types of roof tiles that have like a grainy coating that's quite red. And underneath, when that weathers away, underneath it's quite yellow. I've cleaned some like this. But when it's dirty, it looks black. And so they want you to come and clean it. So you come and clean it. You clean off all that black when underneath the red coating has also weathered away. Yeah. It's not me that's caused that weathering. It's happened over a period of time. Maybe the roof is 30, 40, 50 years old. So I think people forget that your roof and any exterior surface is subject to weathering. I've cleaned people's driveways and you can see where they park their car because the blocks are a little bit weathered over the whole of the driveway, apart from where they park their car. You can see this patch. And it's just slightly different quality
what
of
have you done
of
to
the
the
block. Yeah, but it's not me that's done. I've cleaned it.
Yeah.
But it's the car that's protecting that little bit where it's always parked. Yeah. But it's the same thing. You get people standing there all day with a turbo nozzle pointed at their driveway, And I think, oh, you could be doing more damage than good in a way. So for me and my business approach, we'll come back to the business approach, you see, is having an understanding of your tools and equipment and the way that you sell it is that I will actually say that I can clean a surface and I'll take better care of it as well at the same time, because I understand the tools and equipment I'm using. I understand the chemicals that I'm using and the reason for it. So if you can help your customer to understand that your service is a little bit more premium or higher level of service, they see why your service comes at maybe a slightly higher cost, but they appreciate the efforts that you're making to do it a better level of service.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of business side of it for me as well, is that you get an understanding of those things and then that permeates through your business. Because you get people buying a pressure washer and then everyone's like trying to undercut each other to get the jobs. But it's actually, you can, it's brand positioning, isn't it? Brand positioning. So
this all comes from, like you said, with the branding the van, branding your workwear.
Yeah.
You know, that enables you to position yourself slightly more and then you don't have to fight with people for work. But this is the mindset, is when you're in that, you're thinking, well, if I do all this, it's costing me money.
Yeah.
But also I'm trying to compete with this. But actually you bring yourself up and you don't end up having to compete down there anymore. So
there are some customers that are just looking for the cheapest price. No matter what you say or do, they just want the cheapest price. And I bet there'll also be the difficult customers who are like following you around, pointing out things extra things they want done, or you know, stuff like that.
While you're up there, can you just?
Yeah, exactly. But you charge a higher price, and there are customers who want to pay a higher price, and they're looking for someone who's going to take a little bit more care about what they're doing. You're going to be looking after their property. You're going to be coming around their property using some pretty heavy duty equipment, and they want to make sure they're happy to pay someone who's going to do it. Yeah, take a bit more care.
So the next thing that I wanted to ask you is, where do you see the business then? Obviously, you've got your kids are now coming into it. Where would you like to see the business in 5 years, or where do you see what you're doing with the training side? What's the end game for you?
Just to I kind of like. I haven't thought of an end game. I like to. I think I like the idea of trying to establish standards, maybe within the industry. I don't know if this sounds a bit overly ambitious, but I think even like gardeners, in order to use weed killer, they have to do a little qualification called a PA1 and a PA6 to use professional grade weed killer. Yeah. And I think in exterior cleaning, we're using some nasty chemicals, like bleach-based chemicals, other chemicals that kill off organic growth, and people are mixing them without really any understanding of what they're doing. And it can make mustard gas, basically, if you mix the wrong chemicals with bleach, which can be really, dangerous. And the heavy duty equipment you're using, pressure washers, you can do some damage with some pressure washers, So just to kind of like, I don't know if there's a way of establishing some sort of standard. Like there's no kind of like body in the industry like you have in maybe electricians or gas. You have to do certain training and you have to register in order to be able to use gas or work with electricity. So the kind of thinking behind the training is like, help if you can understand your tools and equipment, you understand the chemicals you're using a bit better, and you can use them in a safer way as well. I think that can make a massive difference to your business from a business point of view. Just getting that bit of an understanding, but it also can help you to work to a higher standard as well. Yeah. So to be recognised as a better trade,
accredited, yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe window cleaners, pressure washing people can be looked down on a little bit, but I've had experiences where I pulled into a close. We did a job a few weeks ago, and straight away I clocked it. This person's roof. Someone had done half a job. I just said to my son, I said, "Oh, look at that one over there. Someone's just left it in a right old state." And we were cleaning a job just a bit further down the street, and the old lady literally come out to us. We said, "Oh, I had this horrible experience. You know, someone came and fleeced me for £500 or whatever. They've done half a job and they've left a mess on my roof, this, that and the other." And she says, "It's my fault, really. I gave them cash and I shouldn't have done it." And just think, oh, you know, what a shame someone's prying on people like that. And she said, "I see you're doing a good job, and, you know, would you be able to come and help me just finish it off and tidy it up?" So we just went over there and you know, cleaned it up, cleaned the gutters out properly, and we applied a chemical so it lasts a bit longer, and, you know, just helped her out. But you feel so sorry for people like that who, you know, and it's a shame that people are going around doing that kind of thing, taking advantage of people, and it brings down the whole industry, really. And then people start, you know, looking upon the industry. So if you can be a bit more professional, to establish exterior cleaning as a trade, I think that you know, just to try and lift standards a little bit.
That's a good end game.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we like to do around about this time is it's a bit like a Jerry Springer final thought, isn't it? So we get you to, you can either shamelessly plug yourself, which I'll do a little bit of, is you've got the podcast. What's the name of your podcast for your thing, if anybody's interested in learning a bit more about it?
The AE Macintosh Exterior Cleaning Podcast. Yeah.
Okay. And that's on Spotify, Apple Music.
It's on all good podcast
providers. Yeah.
And what I like to do now is interview people. Well, I've interviewed lots of people who are trying to get into the industry, who have, you know, gone from employment, gone self-employed, and how they've done it. Maybe they've gone part-time at first. And I've helped tons of people who make 80, 100 grand in their first year, you know, with a little bit of help and stuff like that. And you can really achieve things, and it goes upward from there. So I love to like talk to these people and hear a bit more about their journey as well. So it's not just about me, but
so there's that. But also we try and get you to say, if somebody is listening or watching that thinks, I might need a little bit of help with this, I don't quite understand it, or, you know, it could be any trades business, any knowledge that you've got that you want to pass on, or any help that you want to, like tips, whatever it is, we just ask you to sort of give us a nugget of something that somebody listening, watching could take away. It could be absolutely anything. You know, you could even just a little bit of advice to somebody, or
so I can give you a film quote.
anything you want to do.
This is my era. So from Back to the Future, Doc Brown, at the end he says, "The future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one."
That's not a bad quote.
Do you like that?
No, to be fair, I mean, people watch this, or somebody might just randomly click on it that thinks, "Oh, I'm interested in exterior cleaning, but I wouldn't know where to start." And they pick out one little nugget of information that can change somebody's life. That's why sometimes I look and I think, why am I doing the podcast? But then I realise actually people that listen or watch are gaining something out of it.
Yeah.
And this is like, even if there's plumbers and electricians watching it, I always think what you've talked about with the business side of things, you could apply that to any trades business.
Absolutely. And I think that's it really, is you can do it. If you work hard at it, you can definitely do it. And I think that was...
They can pinch I pinched the playbook off Ben from Gymshark.
Yeah, okay.
So you can pinch the playbook and just adapt it to how it suits.
Yeah, and it's just having that little bit of understanding of a few simple business principles, and you can totally make it work. But I think it's appreciating that it's not just what you do, but it's how you run your business, and it's how you present your business. That to me is the biggest part of it. So that's what I would say is. And I think when I started, I had no real ambitions. I had no real sort of end game as such. And I just went out there and worked hard. And the more time has gone on, work smart, work smarter. And
the experience sort of molds you a bit more, doesn't it? And you suddenly think, oh, that person's got a branded van. Maybe I should try that.
Yeah, and what I used to notice was, like on the back of a gardener's van, it would say specialist in fencing. Yeah. Or you see on the back of a plumber's van, it would say specialist in fitting boilers. Yeah. And I think, why is that good? Yeah. Well, if you're more of a specialist in something, that comes with a certain amount of knowledge and experience. And you've also, as a business, you've targeted this one aspect of whatever it is you do that you know you can make a bit more money from, like the high ticket.
If you just had a landscaper on the side,
Yeah.
What type of stuff? Because, you know, you could ring somebody. Do you do fencing?
Yeah.
No, we don't do fencing.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
I do tons of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I can clean someone's windows. I can clean someone's fascias. I can clean their guttering. I can clean oil stains. I can clean graffiti. I can clean a patio. I can clean a driveway. But the one thing, I don't advertise for any of those things. The one main thing I get is roof cleaning. And no one ever rings me up. I never get a phone call like, oh, I want to have my roof cleaned, but I'm not quite sure the best way to clean it. Can you make a suggestion for me? I never get that call. Never, ever. The call I get is, oh, hi, Ashley. I've seen your amazing videos. Can you tell me how much it is? That is it. That is it. And that is because my marketing is working.
Yeah.
And I put out those videos of the cleaning process taking place. And someone's watched it, and that's what they want, and that's what they just want to know, you know, how much it is to have that done.
Yeah.
So to me, understanding your marketing and how that is working, I can do tons of other stuff, you know, but no one ever asks me for it because I'm not actively marketing for those particular things. So it's the roof cleaning that I really focus on.
Running a business is tough enough, and you don't need your bank making it worse for you. With Tide, you can open a free account in just one day with no hidden fees. And the best part is they have so many features that are perfect for trade businesses to ensure you get paid, from sending invoices with payment links to tracking what's being paid to taking card payments instantly on site with Tap to Pay. And honestly, I wish I had this back when I was running Unilight. So you guys have no excuses. And if you sign up using code LEGENDS, you get £50 cash back when you spend £100. Obviously, T's and C's apply.
All I want to say is thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, it's all good. You're the first exterior cleaning business that we've had on.
Oh, well, there you go.
So you popped that cherry for us anyway today.